Cutting hair is not hard, and I'm going to show you why. So a lot of people struggle to cut hair because they don't have a process or a system in place to give them quality, consistent results. So for example, right now I'm getting into the trim, and the reason I'm going to start by doing the trim up top first is because it's going to give me exactly what I need to blend into. And I'm going to start by creating a middle section, a left section, and a right section. And now we're going to trim that middle section, and this is going to act as our guideline throughout the rest of the scissor portion of this haircut. Now I found this system over the years, right? When I first started, I did not know how to cut with scissors. I would pull hair up and cut with no really thought behind it. It's just what everybody else did. But through learning and investing in my education, I learned this system and process of scissor cutting that allows me to stay efficient without getting confused, because as we all know, scissor trims can be difficult. And I started in the front by taking off about a half an inch, or no, really a full inch, and moving towards the back of his head. And when I found out that trimming the top first makes it a lot easier to blend the sides into the top, I applied it, and I did it over years, and I got better and better at this system and process. And now I'm going to use that middle guideline as our reference point for the rest. So you'll see I'll start in the front and start by pulling little sections as I go back. And on the inside of my finger is where I had already trimmed. And I'm just going to match the rest to that. Step by step, little by little, we're going to get closer to giving out the haircut that the client desires and that we want to give. And having a process and having a system in place allows you to be confident on every hair texture and on every hairstyle, because you know exactly where to attack it. I think what brings a lot of fear and anxiety when attacking, haircuts, especially as a new barber, is because they don't know how to go about it. And once you do know how to go about it, you can attack it with confidence because you know exactly what you need to do. So with that being said, if you want a haircutting system that is efficient, that allows you to give out Instagram quality haircuts consistently, I have an online training program where I teach barbers my system of cutting, and I break it down more in depth than my YouTube videos. And you'll also be attached to a community of barbers who want to grow and excel in their skill set. So if that's something you're interested in, go into the link in the description for Clipperhands Academy, and I hope to see you in the community. It's a one-time payment, so it's not recurring, and you get to have access to the content that I put on the academy forever. So again, link in the description. But now we took a portion of that middle section that we already cut and combed it over towards his left side, and we're just using it as a guideline just like we did with his right. And now what I'm going to do is comb it and part it as he normally would. We do a part on the left side, and then he likes to keep a lot of weight in the fringe, but he combs it over to the right. So what I'm going to do is pull that down towards his eye and make sure that it sits nicely, so when it dries, it's not all choppy looking. And now we're going to get into the fade. So we're going to grab our 2-guard with the lever open, and this is what's going to establish our foundation and give us a nice clean canvas to work with. But as you can see, I'm dropping it towards the back because I want to maintain that weight in the back of the crown. This is going to give a nice contoured shape to the blend that fits our client's head shape. And now to start off the fade, we're going to come in with our clipper closed, still dropping it towards the back. And the reason I like to come in with my clipper first instead of just pressing it in with the trimmer is it's going to make it a lot easier to get rid of that first initial bald line. And you always want to follow it up with the shaver if the client's skin won't bump up. This is going to add another level of gradients to that blend and really make it pop. Now we're going to come in with the lever all the way open, and we're going to be going up a 1/4 inch above that bald line, working our way up in this blend. Now when establishing your guidelines, do not be scared to cut hair. What a lot of barbers do is they get scared they're going to cut off too much, and they just tap the guidelines in. But you want to go through the hair, so you want to make sure that you're going up a good enough distance to get that nice gradual blend and not a bow cut. And now we're doing the same thing with the 1 guard open. Still maintaining that same drop shape. And now we have our 1.5 with the lever all the way open. Now remember, we debulked the sides with the 2 guard open. So with this 1.5 open, I'm staying directly below where I left off with the 2, and it should blend right into it. But I'm being sure to come in and scoop out. I don't want to create too harsh of a line where I make it difficult to get rid of. And now I'm just coming back with that 2 guard open to reestablish where I want to stop before I come in with clipper over comb. But I'm still coming in and scooping out. Now let's begin blending down. So I have my half guard on my clipper with the lever open, trying to get rid of that line directly under that 1 open. But if open on this half guard isn't doing the job, you'll see me close that lever on the side little by little until we get rid of that line fully. And now for the very bottom line, we're going to come in closed, and as we move towards the middle of the fade, I'll open up that lever slightly until we're blended in. And you'll notice towards the back, there's a lot of indentations that cause dark spots in the fade. So you'll see me utilize the corner of the blade in order to break up those dark spots and give it more of a consistent blend. And now what we're going to do to blend into the weight at the top of the fade is we're going to begin by doing some clipper over comb. And all I'm doing is using the comb as a guard. So instead of moving to my 3 and then my 4, I like to use the comb because it's more efficient and I feel like I have more control. Now with clipper over comb, because the blade cuts so sharp, it might not be super smooth. It might be a little choppy. So after the clipper over comb, I'll come in with thinning shears to smooth everything out. And now we're just going to soften everything up, like I said, with the thinning shears. And I'm coming in and scooping out towards the top of the fade and just catching any hairs that stick out of the comb with my thinning shears. And the reason I like to use the thinning shears and not scissors is because, you know, thinning shears cut in between the hairs, so it makes sure that I keep the dark hairs dark while at the same time blending. And now this is a technique I learned from S-Craft, is point cutting with my scissors those dark spots. It allows you just to fine tune it that much more. And now we're just going to frame out, you know, the fade with a hook lineup. We don't line up the front or his vertical bars. We just clean up the curve just a little bit, trying to keep it as natural as possible. And yes, my trimmers are zero gapped as well. And now we're going to get into the facial hair, which is going to be the cherry on top. So we're just going to frame out the bottom of the beard and line up along his cheek as well. But you want to be sure to keep this as natural as you can. You don't want to push it in on the back, because when it grows back, it'll look kind of crazy. And then on the neckline, he likes it more along the jawline, especially since the beard is so short. And now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. This is super simple, super easy. This is about a 1 guard on the beard. And we're just framing it out. And now to really get it sharpened up, we're going to use our 245 razor. And we're going to start at the bottom of the beard and then go to the top of the beard and connect those 2 points in the middle. That's going to allow you to get that nice round beard shape, while at the same time not digging into the beard too much and lowering the line. So it looks super clean, super sharp. And now we're just putting the last minute details on this, trying to elevate it to that Instagram quality. But family, this is how my man came in looking, and this is how he left leaving. If this video helped you in any way, shape, or form, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and drop a comment down below. But if you want to go more in depth in your haircut education, join Dreclipperhands Academy by tapping the link in the description. Peace.